Hey everyone, Victor here with We Coffee with Experts, and we're only talking in the last few episodes about software. We've been talking so much about software, AI with software, and I was thinking about bringing somebody whose main product is a hardware one, especially nowadays when we're talking about so many different solutions across the vehicle market and the EVs market. Why not bring a founder of an EV charger that's aiming to, build a community around it, building something entirely extra so that you, an EV owner, can charge your car as quick as possible everywhere you can. Romit, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing super well. Just excited to be here with you.
Thank you so much, Victor, for inviting me. Privileged to be here. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I said Romit, but Romit goes by Rom. You can find all of his detail in the description down below. He's the founder of El Monde, which is the world in Spanish. And El Monde right now is a EV charging solution situation that Rom is gonna share more about with us. So I said too much, Rom. I personally know you and your career, your story, how you started and how you are at the moment, but I would love people to listen from you instead of from, the guy who never shuts up here. Who
Okay.
is Rome? How did it all start? How did you manage to find yourself in El Monde? Feel free to talk about your personal background if you want. Feel free to talk about anything that might be fruitful for the conversation because at the end of the day, people are here because they want to know who Ron is, what you're dealing with, and what's your differentiation in the market. Why are companies and customers buying from you? This is usually the conversation that we're looking for, and I'm sure that you're gonna kill it.
Thank you so much, Victor. So, yeah, quick introduction. I'm Ram. I'm an electronics engineer with a business degree. I started my career as a summer intern in Google way back when they were entering Asia. That was around 2007 8. I worked there for a bit, and then I worked for Procter and Gamble, another American company, where I
Hmm.
was handling their innovation labs and then their entire sales strategy and growth across Southeast Asia and Greater China. So that was my first experience to go out of my home country and to work abroad. So I'm originally from eastern part of India called Bengal, city called
Okay.
Calcutta. But with Google first in Singapore and then with PNG extensively, I traveled and I worked internationally across Asia. Then
Awesome.
I joined a small company, an edtech company, where I worked as one of the first founding members. That's where I got my startup bug, quote unquote. Okay. After 2 years, I could exit that as an early member. I took my equity, got a bit of money. Instead of buying property and stuff, I decided to invest it on myself. So I got an MBA degree from INSEAD Business School in France, which is probably Europe, if not the world's one of the top business schools. After that, I joined Amazon to grow their business across Europe, and then Amazon Web Services. Got my hands dirty into the deeper part of tech, and then since 2020 onwards, I have been an entrepreneur on the road. And now we are working on this new project, El Monde, which wants to make the most convenient EV charging solution across the world. And very excited to talk about it. Thank you.
And I'm excited to talk more about it. You have such an amazing career. You have such an amazing story. It's worthy of a movie, a book. Do you ever plan on writing a book about yourself?
I have been approached by some friends, so that's a project that may brew up. The coffee is still brewing on that, but yeah, once the coffee is ready, then I'm gonna serve it.
And once the book is done, written, you're gonna come back here so that we can talk only about the book. Okay?
Absolutely, you'll
I
be
promise
one of the
you.
first to be offered the book. I promise that, Victor.
I want that. I want that. Thank you. Thank you. Well, but since the book is still not on, let's, open your life to the people and scroll through the pages of who is Rome. Right now, El Monde EV charging, you even said that you want to be the quickest, the easiest to use charging solution. How will you achieve that? What is the idea? What is the concept about being ease of use in the EV market?
Sure. So there are two types of charging typically. One is, let's say you are going from point A to point B and you want to charge en route. That's typically a supercharging, fast charging. Okay, and the second type of charging is at the destination. Once you reach, you have parked your car and there is a charger available. Okay,
Mhm.
Now, when the industry started around 10 years back, there was a lot of focus on route charging, making it fast. What we have realized that even if it is 15 minutes, going to a gas station, taking a detour is just a lot of headache, lot of work, cognitive load. People don't want that. People want the convenience to charge
Hmm.
wherever they have parked their car. So we are focusing on destination charging, and we are focusing on extremely premium real estate, let's say golf courses, boutique hotels, ski resorts, where typically a premium EV owner of today will go and spend half a day or more or overnight, so they can easily charge there. So we bring this convenience, and our thinking is that I'm sure you at least know of cyber cafe. If you have not used many of them, there used to be a lot of cyber cafes once, but they are not anymore,
They're
because
not anymore. Yeah.
you used to go there when you did not have good, reliable Wi Fi at home. But once you started getting it at the destination, you didn't need to go to a cyber cafe. You just
True.
got your Wi Fi at home. So, convenience is the biggest driver of human behavior, and we are offering a convenient way to charge your car.
I see. Wow, what an amazing sales pitch. Nothing else to be said, right? That's the thing. You arrive at the destination, and it's what I never thought about is, but as you said, like as drivers, we think about where to pump our gas during the destination, right? Oh, there's a gas station here. Does it have an EV charger? Oh, it has, and it has a cafeteria. So let me plug the EV, go have a breakfast, something, come back later. But what about once I land in the hotel, golf course? I'm living in Portugal, and it's super easy to cross the country by car. And Portugal as a whole right now, it is exactly as you said. You have a lot of EV chargers during the path itself, during the routes, during the avenues, but you don't have a lot of chargers anywhere else besides shopping centers, supermarkets, but they're always filled with cars already. They are
Absolutely.
always busy, already charging more cars.
Absolutely.
Uh,
So it always adds to your headache. And one thing we have realized is that most of these places are pretty close to the city or on highway. But let's say you are going to the coast in Portugal, you're going to Setúbal or moving towards southwards, right? So where do you charge? So what happens? One interesting fact here: almost 70% of EV owners, when they search for an Airbnb or on Booking.com, any of those platforms, the first filter they put is not whether the place has this amenity, resort, etc. First filter is always the EV charger, whether the place has EV charger or
Mhm.
not. It's just anxiety. It's called range anxiety. You
Yeah.
have an anxiety of your car running out, and you can live with your phone running out. But if your car runs out of battery in the middle of the road, that's not a situation you'd like to be
No.
yourself in. Yeah,
No, no, it's not. And even back in Brazil, we have a lot of gearheads, as they call
yeah,
themselves, who loves petrol cars because they love the sound of engines and everything else. And their main argument is, bro, you can catch your EV and spend 50 minutes charging. I'm gonna be done in 5 minutes. And they say this because of the lack of solutions such as Monde, because you can't conveniently charge your car anywhere you are. You need to go to specific places. You even do a detour sometimes to go to an EV charging place,
yes,
right? It's I'm gonna have to go to this place that I don't know if the charging is available, that I don't know if it's good, if it's fast. It's
it's true.
another thing. Yeah,
It's just another thing, and you
yes,
don't want another thing.
yes,
This is the last thing you want to worry about. Whether
exactly,
you,
exactly. Let me ask you, not in regards to Almonde, but in regards to EV. Whenever we think of it, we think of Tesla, the pioneers, right?
yeah.
And we have so many new companies right now, especially China is really putting a lot of effort and money into the EV market. Do you also see this trend with the chargers themselves? Do you see a lot of companies being readily available to build chargers? Or are we talking about a monopoly thing where Tesla owns 90% of the superchargers and the rest have to deal with what they have?
So that's a very good question, Victor. So the lay of the land as it stands is that Tesla is like the iPhone of this market, okay? And Tesla is mostly focused on the
Good
highway
point.
charging. Tesla barely has any dent in the commercial charging that we are doing in commercial spaces, okay? They have
Hmm.
some residential charging simply because when you buy a Tesla, you get an adapter. That's it. Okay, but they're focused on highway charging because for them that's lucrative. They've already built their network across United States. Now it's easy for them to scale it around the world.
Sure.
That's where
Sure.
Tesla is focused. They don't focus on commercial charging. There are a few players in the commercial charging space. However, right now, less than 3% of US, which is going to be one of our key markets, has EV. And I think in Europe, it's around 9 or 10%. So 90% of the market is still uncovered. Okay,
Nice.
I'll give you some data. It's expected that there will be at least 25 to 30 million new chargers to be installed over the next 10 years or so, and it's going to become a
Okay.
$62 billion industry, okay, in that range, which means that there is a space for a lot of different players. And we are a software player, by the way. We are the software layer. We work with other third party hardware makers. So you asked one of the other points about China. So Chinese companies are extremely good at making commercial hardware at scale. Okay, so
They
we
are.
can play with such players, and if there are other countries introducing tariffs and all, in that case we can play with those players. So we are absolutely independent, and we work with already with a range of different third-party charger providers. We are the sky. We are like the sky scanner, on top, whereas the
Hmm.
airline can belong to anyone. We don't care.
Hmm. I think, yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good idea. You were mentioning, for example, the US and Europe. Is Almonde a global company at the moment, or are you focused entirely in the US, mainly due to how easy it is to set up store up there?
Great question. So we are a global company. We are focusing on category, primarily boutique
As you said,
hotels.
golf.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hotels
hotels.
are our category, and we have tied
Hmm.
up with one of the world's largest hotel association, who has more than 7,000 such hotels. Again, spread evenly between Europe and US, and some in Asia. I would say their footprint is 50% in US, 35 to 40% Europe, and the rest in Asia. Okay, so
Okay.
yes, in US is our primary market because there also we have large installation partners. However,
Hmm.
Europe is picking up, and so is interestingly India. That's why right now sitting in India, where there is a huge growth market, and potentially we see your home country Brazil and Argentina. Latin America is another
Yeah.
very untapped growth market. So it's going to be a mix of all markets for us.
Hmm.
We see ourselves as a global player, but when you are
Hmm.
starting off a company, you're a bit opportunistic and you go with the deals that you get. So I think other than China, we are going to focus pretty much around the world in the same fashion.
You were mentioning about commercial cases, and I'm actually moving to Porto right now here in Portugal. In a month and 2 weeks, I'm gonna be living there. And the ads, the apartments that we're looking for rentals and everything else, a lot of them already have a commercial EV station at the building.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
so they are. This is new for me. Back in
yes,
Brazil, we still don't have this. If you have an EV charger in a building, it's gonna be a luxurious building or a business studio for enterprise
absolutely. Yes,
professionals.
yes, yes, yes. So as of
It's
now, in Europe, is still the leader. Okay, the market is majority matured in Europe, and there
okay.
also you see only in the big cities like Berlin or Porto or London, you name it. But let's say you go to even a smaller town in Europe, okay, there is hardly any presence there. So as I said, their market is still untapped. Less than
It
10%
is.
of the market is penetrated. So there's plenty of room to grow.
It is. That's for sure. We were talking a little bit ago about user friendliness over everything else, right? How we want it to be easy to
Yes.
plug and play, easy to charge, easy and everything else because it needs to be. Uh, Especially with AI, we are getting a lot of customers who are getting more and more lazy on doing ordinary tasks. They want things to be automated. They want things to be user friendly, right? But sometimes user friendliness is not a priority to a lot of companies, and they are just pushing innovation. They're just pushing the AI button to have, they just want the AI button on the top of their software so that users can have AI. Doesn't care what the AI does, doesn't care how friendly it is. There's an AI over there. But I'm pretty sure that you're going to give me a different answer about innovation with user friendliness. How do you think of this? How do you match both the growth of your company while staying user friendly at the same time?
Excellent question, Victor. So, first of all, a little context. I have been involved with the European AI Act, advising certain EU
Amazing.
institutions with the first
Okay,
AI
amazing.
Act. And my first company, I'm a serial entrepreneur, has been in healthcare, where we actually use some AI tools to make doctors better connect with patients to prevent
Hmm.
rehospitalization. Okay.
Okay.
So I call it AI with purpose. So completely agree with you. There is a bunch of tools out there whose only redeeming factor seems to be the solution of AI and not the problem statement it is trying to solve. Okay. So, but AI, or for that matter, any technology is useful only when it solves a real world problem. Okay,
Yeah, true.
doctors are very stressed, they don't have time. If you solve that problem with AI, it makes sense. Okay, you spoke about people being lazy. I would characterize it slightly differently. I would say that in today's world, you just have so much of stimuli, so much of over information. You want to just reduce your cognitive load. So it should be AI for peace. My mental health, the AI is going to help there. So what we do here, I think AI, or for that matter, any technology, all of it has to go toward customer centricity. Okay, so
Okay.
customer centricity is at the heart of what we are building. To give you an example, our customer is going to be the golf course or the hotel owner. Now, what happens in a hotel or golf course? Okay, unlike a gas station, you will not have 24/7 cars coming in and leaving, right? That's not the very nature. They would have members who are discreet, who would want the parking to be empty, to be reasonably safe.
True.
Okay? However, maybe they have more guests on the weekend and less on Mondays. So we have created a tailored price engine where, depending on your location and various other factor, you can create a pricing model that suits your business context best. If you're a ski resort, for example, you would have your maximum business only in the winter months. Skiing is a very seasonal business. Okay, so we have created this tailored model where we have introduced a little bit of AI right now. I would compare it almost like Uber's dynamic search pricing. So we have an
Okay.
AI based pricing model. That's what helps our customers, because our customers then don't need to do mental gymnastics and maths. They can easily, with 3 clicks, understand. It's hard to understand electricity and
It
vehicles
is.
and all that stuff. We have made it simple for our golf course owner. In 5 minutes, they can understand how to make their pricing better. That's a good use of AI. That's a good use
That's
of
a good
customer.
Xavier.
Yes.
It is. You're 100% correct. I'm thinking, uh, in terms of, for example, getting new customers. We are talking about your ICP being the golf courses and the hotels. But at the end of the day, those that are gonna be learning about you are gonna be the drivers, the customers of such golf courses and hotels that will plug their charger, their car into your charger. Two questions that I have. Uh, is your charger white labeled and you use the brand of your customer, the hotel, the golf course, or no, it's El Monde charger and everybody will see and get to know about El Monde? This is the first question.
Yes.
Go,
Okay.
please
So,
go
so
on.
we are co-branded. We are co-branded. We give
Okay.
majority of the marketing space to our customers. And what we have realized is that, especially in the hotel business, your listing discoverability is very important. Your listing should be available in different platforms. So right now we actually have a lot of hotels who have put up their listing on our app, and we see some of the app users. We have done a lot of testing. They spend more than 10 minutes to find a hotel that has a charger, even if the charger is not connected to our system. Okay,
Mhm.
so we give preference for our customers to win. Okay, however, our app is very easy to use. You can download it right now.
I'm
It's
gonna do.
available. We are already available in 5 languages, 4 currencies, so it's very easy for the end user also. They just scan once and that's it. They download and they start charging. But because it's easy for the customer, it is also going to be easy for the end user. And you asked a very nuanced question. We are trying to also educate our customers to keep the charger in a without much dust and all, because what happens with a lot of these superchargers, sometimes they are broken. You just go on internet, it's
Yeah.
filled with people complaining the chargers are broken, there was no
True.
light, women drivers feel a bit unsafe, unfortunately, things
True.
like that. So that's why we are trying to also educate our customers, and because we have intelligently chosen categories where customer experience is very important. If you open a luxury hotel, as a hotel owner, you are always thinking of customer experience. So we are
Sure.
working with the right mindset customers. So we are also educating them on how to make it better for their end customers. So we are
Makes
also
sense.
very positive vibe, hashtag positive vibes only. We are creating that sort of positive vibe, you know.
I love you. That's a good point. And then the second question you kind of answered, but and this is just me thinking out loud. We have a lot of business owners watching us, and naturally they always have the same question: how did you scale? I don't want to ask your secret sauce nor your secret formula, but an overview of how you started El Monde and how did you manage to get in touch with such customers that you already have in different languages in different countries. The EV market as a whole, do you use ads? Do you use SEO? Is it a direct mail thing? Is it a conference based type of partnership? How do you manage to get in touch with them? And again, no need to share your secret thing, just an overview of how you're working
Sure, sure.
that can be, replicated in different markets and different people.
Absolutely. So I think one of the challenges as a second time entrepreneur I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs, especially if they're coming from the corporate world, and let me make it a bit more like an advice to all the young entrepreneurs who are probably getting started listening to this podcast. They often think of their big vision, you know,
Mhm.
but initially you have to almost divide your brain, and while to investors and all the other people who are going to believe in you, you show the big vision. You have to think of one specific problem you are solving for a one specific group that is a decent sized market, not too small, not too big, and how well can you solve that 0 to 1. Okay, you just focus on 0 to 1. So that's why you see I'm very clear about my ICP. Is a golf course owner, is a boutique hotel owner. It's not a Hilton owner, franchisee owner. It's not I don't know, a swimming pool owner. I know my
Mhm.
customer. So know your
Mhm.
customer first. That's the starting point. Once you know and you have sold to first five customer, you have a quickly idea what's the pattern of your channel going to like. For example, I'll give you an example of a failure. Failure is often the best teacher.
Oh, please.
We started by doing a lot of email campaigns end of last year, and we quickly understood that our customer is not someone who has electrical stuff at the top of their head. So even if they're interested in EVs, it's good for climate, good for their customers, they kind of tend to get turned off by all this jargon about electricity and power capability and grades and all that. So what we have, that's why we have now started working with these associations, okay, where it's a bit more informal, and through their chapter where there are focus groups, we go there and at one go we handle 30 or 50 such customers. So that also helps us to scale, quickly qualify the lead. It's not exactly
Mhm.
one on one, it's one to many, but it's still a human touch where we take a lot of questions. You will not believe our focus group discussions are pretty much actually like this podcast. It's often just our customers asking us a bunch of questions. That's it.
Wow, that's
That's
really
the way
nice.
of doing, and we focus on a lot of good quality SEO to scale,
Okay.
because again it's a very subject matter expert. We work with two subject matter experts. So one of our first investor is the ex EV charging head of Volkswagen. Okay, so he's a subject
Just a
matter expert.
nobody.
Yes, just a good
Just a
guy who knows the market.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah. I
nobody.
often joke with him that he's the grandfather of EV charging in Europe.
I
Um,
imagine.
yeah, though he's very young because the industry is young.
Sure. True.
But
Also true.
jokes apart, so basically that's how you scale. You understand your channel, your winning channel. Okay, grow that channel, and you have to just ensure a marginal rate of return is better than your marginal cost. Pure economic theory. And once you understand that, you will go better. You don't need to go and do 1 million things on LinkedIn and this event and that event. There is tremendous amount of bad advice in the market. Okay,
Yeah, it's
you have
true.
to be very careful on knowing your signal and not get lost in noise.
I 100% agree. Look, I'm at the end of the day, we have the podcast here so that we can get to know more people, get to know stories, improve our own brand awareness and the guest brand awareness itself. But at the end of the day, I am a sales guy who needs to get in touch with several companies. And what you're saying right now is once you define your ICP, it's not going to be anymore about sending massively huge sequences to them because it is, as you said, they might be interested in SEO, they might be interested in EV, but there's so much going on their head, higher priority things that we need to make sure that we need to make sure that we catch them with the correct benefit, which is not, hey, you're gonna have an EV in your hotel. No, Your customer will be super happy to wake up the next day with his car already charged because you have an EV readily placed for him, which with a amazing experience overall. That's the thing. That's the goal,
That's
right?
pretty much the value prop. And I'm very
That's
happy
pretty
that
much.
you, in this short introduction, you have already picked up the value proposition. I'm going to take it as a win. At the end of
Yeah,
the day, that's all that matters. My customer
yeah,
has to understand my value proposition
it
quickly,
is.
fast,
Yeah.
and then you have to solve it in a very easy way. Another thing that I have noticed, a lot of young people coming from technology background, and I would put myself in that bracket of technology enthusiast, is that they focus a lot on solution, like you said, using AI and all. It doesn't matter much. Your customer wants the solution, and if they see that you're honest in solving the problem and reducing their headache, most of your customers will give you suggestion. Your customer is your best teacher. Just ask them, they
Yeah.
will tell you, and build the product what they want to solve. And once you have solved for your first 10 customers, you'll find the next 10. One of the challenges, a lot of the quote unquote gurus on LinkedIn, they ask things like find product market fit. It's not a magic. Just work
Not
from
a.
day to
Yeah.
day. So just focus on solving the problem statement. That's the only thing that matters. Rest everything's noise.
I'm thinking of something else here, Rom. We charge our phones every day when we go to sleep. Why not
Yes.
charge our cars?
Great
You
point is
know?
that typically a like a car that belongs to an individual needs to be charged once or twice a week. However, there are different use cases. Let's say you have a fleet taxi, which runs a
Hmm.
lot more than 400 or 500 kilometers per day. They need to charge almost every day. That's one of the reason also Tesla etc focused more on supercharging and fleet. Okay, but the fleets are good for supercharging. You know, the guy goes at the evening, he just puts the car and next morning he takes it. It doesn't serve the case of individual car owners.
Yeah. I 100% see where you're coming from. Whenever and right now, I have a 1992 Citroen ZX, which doesn't run on electricity.
Yes.
It runs on faith. It runs on my own faith. It runs on my own goodwill that the car will manage to get me from point A to point B. So of course, I'm more than eager to upgrade my car game and go to the EV market. But one question that I is still not sure, and maybe I'm not sure because of everything we're talking about, not having enough charges across the city, not having enough charges readily available. I'm still thinking of hybrids. Me not being an EV owner, never being in that game, the first idea that comes to my mind is maybe I should, just like when you go to the beach, let me just go with my feet first, see how cold the water is, then I go and I immerse my whole body into the ocean. Do you also see this in your case right now where you receive feedback or researches? You said that you do focus groups. Is the hybrid market a stone in your shoe, something that's bothering you, or is it something that you can also benefit from? Great. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. And then if I was, oh, this is a real question. You know way more about the EV market than I know. I'm a normal driver. I need car to get to point A from point B, but I also love cars as a whole. My father, he's a mechanical engineer. He just retired after 40 years at General Motors working at Chevrolet. Yes. So I'm naturally a person who likes cars. But at the same time, I'm a millennial who loves technology, who saw the growth of CD, the growth of Blu-ray, and now the growth of digital media. So my question to you, this will be my last. It won't be the last question, but it will be. I don't know the term in English. Sorry, it's almost the last question. Which car right now would you recommend anybody that is this persona, the young guy who likes EVs but doesn't have a lot of money to buy a Tesla Model S? Which car would you recommend? Which brand do you like right now? Rivian, yeah. Hmm. BYD. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. True. I want to live. Hmm. True. Okay. It is. It is. It's true. When I moved here, I was thinking about buying an EV motorbike. It was cheap, 2,000 euros. I could buy a new one that wouldn't surpass that 100 kilometers per hour mark, but it would be an amazing. Does its job. Does its job. Why didn't I get one? My wife didn't allow it. That's life. That's the marriage life for us all, right? My wife didn't allow it, so I don't have a motorbike EV, but I will definitely have a car in the future. Now, to wrap things up, you already said the question that I always ask, which is, what would you tell the young entrepreneur? What advice would you give? And you already said it, so I won't ask this. Thank you for asking. What I would ask right now is, Ron, we had this conversation about EV. We had this conversation about the future, the past, companies, ease of use, user friendliness. Uh, what are you expecting in terms of digital maturity from your customers? Right now, we're seeing a lot of YouTube channels with EVs. We're seeing a lot of discussions about EVs. We're seeing people being more and more ready to talk about EVs. Do you feel like this is going to continue like that and the future is EV only? Or do you see that resistance which exists, that resistance of going all electrical will always be around? I saw this. Yeah, I know what you mean. No one knows. Yep. Yes, that's it. It is. Wow. That's it, everybody. That's Rome for you, the founder of El Monde. Rome, thank you so much for this amazing. I was really looking forward for a conversation about EVs because I like it. I like the market. I like it all. And especially, I told you about my father. He is that gearhead who doesn't like EVs. So once this goes live, I'm definitely going to send it over and say, like, hey, please bear 30 minutes to watch what the amazing things that Ron has to say. Ron, this has been us. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the effort you put here. And for everybody else, you know where to find Ron. All of the links will be down in the description. Go check his website. Go check his profile. What an amazing guy. You know, why not connect? This is always what I say. People come here for us to get connected to. And Ron is just like that. Ron, thank you. Having an amazing time. Everybody else, you know that we're always posting videos here. I'll catch you at the next one. And until then, take care. Bye bye, everyone.